design varume inoya yakaita ka blouse. Then of course pane ka washkat kacho ke jacket akamo mukati and wakapfeka zvangu ndo ndazvesai. It's a gift ndakatengerwa na Prophet Angel.
Okay, so approximately, do you know how much that is?
Fupa msoro sasa. Ni watch, ni phone.
Ayo, let's keep it to the.
Boots in it are thousands of dollars.
Okay.
Prada.
Okay.
My socks and this it's a gift. Skate and the bati yakawanda.
Yakawanda.
Sake baba ndo unopfeka tingangoti motikari yacho wenga. Mindi pasta anotuka mapasta. Mota yake ne baba shop ya madungwe. Ne zvese. Imota zakawanda.
So how are you feeling, or how do you feel when you put on such?
I feel special. I feel like I'm on earth. You know, when we go to heaven, we won't be wearing this stuff. So
okay.
I feel like I'm on earth.
So do you actually walk around wearing this, or you had to dress up for the show?
From here, I'm going to lunch. Which were mentored by Philip Chiangwa. Panama business and other with him Zimbabwe. So I'm doing another day. I still want to feed that chimdara chi nyama chichi. Ndakado dai.
Okay.
Ndeso ngora mandaga varangu mako.
All right, so this is our guest for today, Prophet Fashion. We'll be talking to him, and of course we'll be telling you about the topic that we've got. It's been 12 months since Zimbabwe saw the Premier Soccer League teams in action in a local competition. The coronavirus outbreak ruined everything, and now it is expected the game could finally bounce back in the coming weeks. But as we look at the imminent return, we are also saying, is the game making business sense, or it is just social responsibility on the part of the different stakeholders supporting football? So today we are saying, this is our topic now, local football makes a return to Zimbabwe. How should it really be run? Is it going to be some sort of a big business and not just appear as charity on the part of organizations pouring in the resources? So this is what we are talking about. I'm going to go to the couch squad and also hear what the Prophet thinks about what we're talking about. So Makomborero, charity, business.
It's charity. It's charity. I think it's an act of passion, not the Prophet's. I think it's more of an act of passion, where you grew up, you wanted to play soccer, and then you feel like you can't. So maybe let me be a referee for that. Then you have a football team. Then you realize that you have a football team, you need 40 people, and these 40 people have got families, and they look up to you. So that's why every day you have teams that are always talking about bonuses, players not being paid, because it doesn't make sense. Imagine.
Okay. Before you preempt, because I know you've got a lot to say about this. Business, charity, what is it?
Charity.
Charity.
It was never business.
For once they agree.
For once.
For once.
Yeah. And you know, I'm tempted to probably understand him because he went through the whole process, though I tell me my small teams. But we will get to that and just see what this really means.
Well, I'm going to have to go back to the Prophet. You know, people know you for a lot of things. A millionaire, a prophet, music promoter, the flamboyance, philanthropy, and a whole lot more. But I've never really seen you engaging in any sporting activities. To say, are you a sports person?
I was. But what happened is I was Pasika 6 primary school in Chitungiza, Seke side, and I was playing baseball, and I was one of the best. But then because we could not have supporters, funding and stuff like that, we ended up being the best in Chitungiza. I think the best we did was to come out from Chitungiza into Harare for tournaments. We won, obvious, but after that we just died just like that. So we couldn't keep going. I'm a sports person in that sense. I'm a fast runner and stuff. But we can't keep going if there are no results coming. That's the other problem we were having in music until I said today, let's launch our record label and stuff like that, because every talent, every gift have to be converted, translated, changed into money. Kana zvandiri kuita zvisiri kuzongochinja kuzoita mari, Then with my age, as I'm growing, I'm going to be disappointed, discouraged, and feel like I wasted my time. So I do like sport, but I think right now we are in the age of, I can say we are in between charity and business. Remember the president said Zimbabwe is open for business. I remember my older brother, nguwa yavo vachita zve-baseball, I think panika mchina, somewhere shangwang, something like that. Kaitouya ku primary. Japanese, yes. Kaitouya ko wakatotanga kuti vachitrenwa nguwa yedu susu kakakusauya and stuff. So you find kuti now Zimbabwe is open for business, and business kana pasina capital apana kwatukenda. So I believe kuti we are in the middle ekuva ku charity takunopinda business now.
We're getting there.
Yeah, we are almost there. Almost.
Okay, so do you have a favorite sportsman that you actually look up to, someone that inspires you?
Me. Me.
Yes, you, Prophet.
I look up to me. I'm connected to Tino. If you know Tino, the footballer guy, and he's doing good, and he's big now, like really big. Of course, we grew up in the days of Peter Ndlovu, Norman Mapeza, Luis Bunjila, and all those stuff. And my father on the football team called Darren T. Ndo abulizana Mapeza na Bunjira and stuff. I talk around kwedu most of the times.
So it's good if you've got that background. I think we'll just come back to you in a bit so that you also enlighten us on how that team was being run, and probably if it affected, your father's pocket, maybe because you discover that a lot of other business people because bora raichika mari. So we'll come back to you in a bit.
Honorary.
Yes, now Lance Chihande was in the streets to talk to the fans on what they think about the state of football in the country. Let's hear from you.
Now, Zimbabwe has lost a lot of players to foreign leagues that are considered inferior to the Zimbabwe Premier Soccer League. Leagues such as the Zambian Super League, the Eswatini League, as well as the Top Flight League in Tanzania are all being lucrative destinations. Today, we walk in the streets of Harare to find out what the Zimbabwean fans think should be done to the Zimbabwe Premier Soccer League for it to be lucrative once more.
The first issue yatofana consider issue sponsorship. If you look at the corporate world, Rashoma vari sponsor more talent, especially Bora and the other sports, but mainly looking at soccer, companies, Shoma who are getting involved. So you find that we've got raw talent, we've got good talent, but you find that stars akawanda vari kutiza nenyaya yemari.
Team redu rebhora muno muzimuka. I think we are good at playing, but major issue ingoripo ndeyekuti zvoni mayouth edu ebhora they are lacking confidence panyaya yekuti zvoni vachiona makocha anenge achivakocha vari kuona sekuti zvoni havasi kunatsa vapa mukana wekuti zvoni vange vachitamba bhora racho nemazvo. Ndo chete zvandiri kuona ini, havasi kupiwa mukana. Vanofanira kuti every player inenge iripo pagame ndavape mukana kuti aparticipate vachiona kuti zvoniwo matambiro ake play yake inenge iri sei.
Vafana vazhinji ava vataiona kana kuna Narufaro vangomberekera mumastreet vachiva vachingoti mudhara tipewo mari, handina mari yerent, but anenge ane kasecho kazara mashooters. Saka ngavaite zvine musoro varidzi vemaclub hongu zvinhu zvinenge zvisina kumira musha zvazvo munyika, but ukapromisa munhu kuti ndiri kupawo kana kuti 20,000 kupera mwedzi, kutoti wozoona mwedzi wapera wamupa 2,000, apanenge akwereta mari dzerendi, pamwe vanenge vakwereta zvakawanda. Saka zvavanenge vawirirana varidzi vemaclub nevapfana vebhora ndoti bhora rinakidze, ende vazhinji vacho vapfana vacho vakuuya kumatimu kwedu kumabhuza kwedu kwatinotamba uku vachitoti mudhara ndakutoa ikoko mundipawo kana ka10. Saka ukatamba waka 4 anenge ane $40 achiparira $10 paroom, unoona mufakosi kana kudzora sepa uku anotoona zvinenge zvitori nani.
Gwanzura arena tunoenda kumabhuza tapedza maground ese kumabhuza kwatopuwa mari tichitamba uko unotoona ground rakachekwa magrounds ese akachekwa uko zvese unotoona kuti panapa zvakarongeka but wozoenda kuna Rufaro magrounds acho ePSA woona haana kana kuchekwa bhora iri ibasa iraumana ngatisadaro bhora iri ungokumbira vakuru vedu kana vakundikana nazvekurana bhora iri sitorirana isusu toya takarirana kuzipa uko pana chinonetsa bhora ibhora iri.
Ini ndofunga kuti bhora redu ribude muburirire munomu kuti maplayers asatiza asiyana kutambirana naZambia kana na South Africa vanofanira kubhadhira mari dzavanenge vawinana pamacontract avo because find out kuti vamwe hapana maanda 20 vanenge vasainwa aya havasi kutombopiwa mari dzetransport dzokuti vaende oil training vautoita mari dzokukumbira vabereki apa vabereki vanenge vaexpecta kuti vafana sezvo vakuenda kubhora vakasaina macontract vachiva nemari but mari idzodzo hadzisi kubuda. Plus we find out kuti maplayers acho akusiro ma-RTGS. Ma-RTGS aya player inenge ida kubhadhira rent pamwe munhu wane mukadzi wane mwana mari haisi kukwana. We find out maplayers anopedza akutosiya bhora kuti akutoenda akutoenda matrails kana kuZambia kana kuna Jozi. Saka bhora remunombuti riri kufa.
Now, multiple of fans have spoken what they think. Could it be contract issues? Could it be the facilities of the Zimbabwe Premier Soccer League itself? Well, it's a big question to a lot of people. But what do you, Couch Squad, think of the current matter at hand?
Thanks a lot to our reporter Lance Chihande there in the streets of Harare, and we had varied responses from the fans there on what they think. So in as much as football is big business, not only supporting 540 players registered with the Premier Soccer League, but a lot of families and businesses depending on the matches, there is still something that still boggles the mind. Premier Soccer League players continue to go to social football to supplement their earnings.
Come to play soccer at non-professional clubs like the ones in the Harare Professional Soccer League is because they do not get an income if they are benched. So if a player doesn't play that weekend, he doesn't get the bonus, win, lose or draw, which means that they have to earn income elsewhere. Their failure to make the game to make the team during that weekend should not result in them losing income. This is why they flood Boozers League, recreational leagues like ours, and it really affects the free flow of our games. But at broader management level, we need to look at sponsorship at club level and at league level. I think there is a challenge there. These players are coming in for allowances, transport allowances that are given by those clubs to sustain themselves. And this is serious. This is a serious indictment in the way football is run in this country.
So that's the founder member of the Harare Professional Soccer League. It's a social league from Harare, also weighing in on how the Premier Soccer League players are flooding the social league. So I think this calls now for, probably this is where we start, because we've got a professional league. We've got 18 teams that are there, my big data owning teams and all that. And you have players going to play against Vanamako Kuma Mabuzas League. This says a lot about how, financially struggling the league is.
Yeah, but I mean, you need to give me respect. It's not like I'm a serious football player. It's not like I'm just a guy from the street.
Okay.
Masimbine, football, those are two different things. He's a serious weightlifter,
okay, when you talk
not football.
I mean, I don't mean studying the gym. The guys who play football now, they need to have right conditioning. They need to eat the right food. I assume the Simbun and Zara. It's just as simple as that. When you're hungry, you cannot lift weights. These guys, they go to play social football to supplement their income. Let's just do this. When you play Patagashinga, you get $10. You get into that big supermarket that's there, you buy meat for $3. You buy 2 quarts of beer. You go home. Your wife cooks something. You've worked, haven't you? You have. And that's what they're doing. And the guys that are there at social football, when these guys come, you can't turn them away because they want to play. And you want to get yourself, isn't it? Should I want to be marked by this Premier Soccer League defender? Can I get past him? Even if I get past him once, I go home bragging that I went past him. They need the money.
Mo, you were a player during your heyday, and things like this are happening. I know for you, I don't want you to speak as Mo, because I know you're a bit different from the other players, because you were working and you were then playing football. But the guys that you were playing with, you know, flooding my social leagues like that.
Fortunately, during my time, we were not playing social soccer like that. The players were not going for social soccer like that. They would actually play when it's off season, money games, not social soccer like that.
But it's happening nowadays.
It's happening nowadays because clubs are flaunting their agreements with players, the contracts, left, right, and center. Yeah. So you find players, they will train in the morning, maybe 9 to 11. Then they will wait for bus money until maybe 5, 6 in the evening. The whole day they are in town. So if they find someone who wants them to come and play and to get $10, $5, they it's more than welcome. They will go and play.
Let's now bring in the prophet, because you were also talking about, you know, having probably a knowledge of how football is run, since your dad was part of some team in Chitungwiza there. And maybe you can take us during that time. You might not be familiar with what's happening now, but during that time, so as Agamira say, how were the players being treated?
Oh no, as I have said, it's just a business mkati. There was a murungu so. Sometimes kwatova kuti white men akuzoite pandato tawa. Papa pana murungu ainzi Graboski aitamba na mdaro wangu. Because cousin yake yainzi Cohen. Vaita na mdaro wangu zve ma business. Ku textiles, weave blankets and stuff. Saka Graboska yapa denika. Uba vaita ma deals. Graboska ngari bag. Mdaro wangu ngani bag ore level raki. So Chitungwiza kari mene. Mbari aizoti murungu akauya manje pano aizopiwa chichi, and of course aizoraro padhento zomonzirare pasi chichi, but zvaifamba. Ndo pakabuda na Alice Bunjira vaiva. Ndo papana na Valentine Ndaba kutamba bhora baba vake vari chimudara. Team iyoyo yanga iri bob because papane murungu zvafamba zvanotista varungu vacho. But papa nevarungu ekuti zvaibuda vaita kuti zviite. So you find that if we get investors in Zimbabwe vanoita kuti zviite, it becomes easier. You find kuti atidi kuti ma players atambe bhora achida mari. Isusu zvatinoita izvi takazviita because of love, it's part of us. Kana wakazvarwa bhora ndo zvazviri. Ukatamba mabhoza zvikawafa haumiri nekuti washa sponsor. But ukanasova excellent mbora rako unotsvagwa. Right now funga kuti Tino asirega ndamba bhora, but ari kutopenya rwari achitodroblawo nekuwaura ana Cristiano Ronaldo vaya. Nenyaya yekuti ukaisa 100% effort in what you are born to do, unongotsvagwa chete. But at the same time tikudowana vanowachikanda mari ana Grabosko for our time.
So I love that because you gave us a history of what your dad used to do.
Yeah.
And you linked it up with what we are looking forward to, people who come in and pour money into there. And we have seen guys like you. There's Prophet Walter Magaya. He's got a team. He sponsors a team. Are we likely probably going to see you? Muchimbodaro?
We can't all be Prophet Walter Magaya. Is a great man. We can all be that. For example, Prophet Iberenjo akutazve the ambassador of the ambassadors. Prophet Makandiwa varikuita church full time. Magaya varikuita football yacho nechichi. Ndikuita music nechichi. But Makandi ndikutsvagire men. I have a lot of millionaires that I'm connected to worldwide. Ndokwasakutsvaga kana ndapiwa mukana wacho. Ndikapiwa mukana wacho tochimhanya chikabuda zvakanakisisa.
Okay. So just a bit about you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are a bit confused. They're trying to place you somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's kind of difficult. Who is Passion Java really? Because you do a lot of, should I call them jokes?
Yeah.
There's the prophet side.
Yeah.
So people are trying to connect that, the seriousness. And,
in the church history, they've never been passion jal. They've never been, simply because of time. In the Bible, there was no Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. In the days of Baba Guti, our father in Zimbabwe, kwakusina Instagram, kwakusina TikTok. So you find he would pitch a tent and preach outside. But now Pastor Java comes in and is dealing with the millenniums. You cannot pitch a tent and preach to 30, 40 people outside. I go on Instagram, I post my video, I reach millions of people. Why? Because our daily age right now is on Instagram. So when I'm coming on Instagram, I don't come holding my Bible, because people are not looking for Bible on Instagram. They want to see cars, they want to see houses, they want to look at Gucci's, golden phones and stuff like that. So I have to bring them the message they are looking for so that they can come to the message I am. So I know how to get connected to the people on Instagram. When you come on my Facebook now, it's changing. You see both the preaching and me making jokes or showing off. Then when it comes to YouTube, you see me preaching and prophesying only, simply because I'm just being the current of this time.
So is it translating though? You look at the numbers of the people who are coming for the jokes and the lifestyles you're talking about. Is it translating now when you're doing your preaching? Do you find the same numbers?
I preach in my jokes. I preach in my jokes. Everything I do is dramatic, but it has got a meaning. Look at my Lambo. You have a demon, you have no Lambo. I got Jesus, I have Lambo. I'm saying something there.
Okay.
Because when we talk, we want someone to say, who is saying it? How is he saying it? What's being said?
Okay.
So what's being said is Jesus is above everything.
All right, when we come back, we examine what Zimbabwe national team coach Zdravko Logarusic's capability. We'll look at some of the players at our disposal that have been shut out. And, we are constantly talking about Zdravko, and because, you know, there is something big that's coming, the Africa Cup of Nations. So, yeah, we have to really talk about this and probably ask also the prophet, Mbotingenyi. Yeah, so we'll ask before he leaves. We'll ask for him to pray for some people. Remember, he says this is how he preaches. You know, yeah. So we'll get to hear more from the prophet. You're watching The Couch right here on ZTN.
Yo, King Kong. Wrong time, my guy. I'm watching a match. Yeah, we're leading. Let me call you back this time. Pass the ball. Ah!
Chi,
what's your problem? What do you expect when the internet is acting up like this? Oh, do you have something better?
Yes, so.
Really?
Internet.
Huh? You're bragging about this though, man. But anyway, Dad, can I please have your pass?
No,
it's in password.
Internet.
Please, please, please. I'm streaming a live football match.
But it's easy with Zoe.
You're watching The Couch on ZTN, where we are discussing whether football in Zimbabwe is business or simply charity.
Yeah, is it a business or it's a charity case? So we've spoken about how players are playing in the social leagues, and we're going to be talking about what Mo was talking about. You know, when it's off season, what do players do? Money games across town, all these things. We're going to dive into them and come up probably with an explanation what's really happening. But the Prophet is still here, and yeah, we like the idea that you also a football person in some way, and you are also doing big things in music.
Honor.
Yeah, and you are resident outside Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
You have come here. Why are you here?
I am in Zimbabwe to launch our record label, Passion Java Records, and other things I can't tell you. Simply because Zimbabwe is my home, so I want to stay connected to my house.
Right, so there is a connection between football and music.
Yeah, true.
Because you go to whether Chibuku Stadium in
Chitown.
Yes, you go to Gwanzura, you go to Rufaro. The atmosphere, the ambience is made up by the fans who are singing in the stands, you know. And are you probably with your record label going to be making a plan of trying to link football or sport in general with what you guys will be doing in music?
100%, because I've been doing music for a long time now. But understand this, just creating songs and hit songs and having a record label is different. Record label now is the business side of the songs we've been making for a long time. That means in our business, we're going to stretch it to all types of industries, be it you are ZTN, you are in other companies or football. Of course, there are songs we are going to be just doing for charity and others will be for business. So definitely, we are going to be making some stuff for our national team. And of course, we are taking over everywhere. That's our goal. That means, tudabvizaga song kanonzi vavo vakomana vekwedu like vakusinasikana vekwedu and stuff. Toisa masonga acharidzirwa vanhu now. That's our aim. We wanna. Music is so food. This food for everybody. Everyone wanna listen to music every day. When you're dressing up, when you're doing your makeup, when you're on your phone, when whatever you're doing, you just want music somewhere somehow, and we're gonna create that. We have the opportunity, we have the potential, we have the energy, we have the numbers, we have the views, we are the noise. So we're just gonna do everything to make sure Zimbabwe gets to another platform when it comes to the music side of Zimbabwe.
Which team do you support? Football-wise, local?
Ngenyi uchivunza million. Ngenyi. No andanyara mambo ndakatazwa zita rematimu, but chokwadi ndechekuti kudhara wangu achiri mberi. Pataita zvefootball pacho. My best team was Barcelona. MuZimbabwe muno manje painetsa. Because pamwe pacho indowanzofara zviripo zviri kuwina zvikurira.
Okay.
Yeah, zvafana ndizvezvo ukandifunza question ndeda kuti njuzu. Because mwandofarira zvikurira now. And handidi kundwaurira.
Okay.
Yes. So what happens is ndemazuva ndaimuka ndichiti Caps United. Then ndozoita mamwe mazuva ndichiti Dynamos. Saka local ndingaunasoti ndine favorite, but internationally Barcelona.
Well, I would like to know, Prophet, you know how sports people, they're usually healthy, they train and everything. How do you keep yourself fit?
Of course, I was talking to someone earlier on and they said the value of a woman is on her body, her face, her looks are her hooks. Number two, her value is on her mind. Is she wise? Is she intelligent? Number three, any cheaper, your gift, your talent. That's the value of a woman. It's either you're gifted, you're talented, or you're wise, intelligent, or you are so beautiful. Ipapap. Saka Cristiano Ronaldo akangobuda dumbo achawana mari. Because he body yakatowa. Saka tinotoona zvimvura zvinoshata zvine mavinegar, pepper, ginger, every day, 5 liters semvura. Skin yako inobva yabudira bo. Mwiri wako inobva yabudira bo, because favor inotengwa. Ukaona tichifamba isusu nemabhebhi akanaka kuda kuti utifevere. Pane umwe munhu wangoti wangoona nemabhebhi sonomuti umboya kulunch because zoita anoena asikana wacho. So you find kuti your looks are your hooks. Unofana kutogara uchitoziya toto. Musoro unotengwa wakabvanganyuka kuti vanhu vangoti komfano akachena but musoro toida kutaurwawo. but you're always supposed to be on point. Watch yako, hembe zako, chichi. So I keep this body in shape because your looks are your hooks. And sandakambona rikampa jamba. But your looks are your hooks. Vakadzi vanofariro ndebvu ndara chinotimba kupolitics anodiwa darika vanhu upepe wakakosha and stuff like that. So everybody has to understand that your looks are your hooks. Is very important. So we try not to eat sadza rakawanda todyawo zvokudaro, but always understand this. Kana uchida kuonda usadye zvinonaka. If you want to stay in shape, usadye zvinonaka. Uda kuenda unodya sadza, nhunguru, chichi apo uda kuonda ashande. Enda kugym. Kana usingaenda gym sesu sometimes hatina time. Press up, sit up. Too much sex. Zvinobuda.
I just wanted to know how big a loss do you think Soja Love's death is to music in Zimbabwe?
Big loss. Asoti wangarutse, but hakuna mbobve kwakaita talenda rafana Soja Love in Zimbabwe. Hakuna indakarasikirwa oneni.
I just want then to say, when you're discussing with him, what was the last conversation that you had with him? And then also, is there stuff that you left behind? Java Records, and how much stuff
I
is
have
it?
over 100 songs from Soja Love. We already agreed with Pato Ranking. We're supposed to do a collab with him. The entertainment EP that I found out 7 songs. So we paid him Friday. He recorded Saturday. Then Sunday he was not available. Monday then he passed away. Saturday I think I'm wait about 2 per EP. And I had promised him a house after the EP and stuff. I'm to Ben's house. I want to do this for you. He was supposed to be the face of this record label. He was the one angari fanengari face, angari fanengari at background. Titoza roti my billboards akanzi ngenyi ndangu, but ekupassion Java Records anengana Soja Love, but life happened. That's why I always tell people, never had any age uda kurwisana nevanhu kutukana nevanhu unless at my skill. We are all going to die. Munhu wese ari kufa. Ukararama 100 years changofa, ukararama 200 years changofa. Saka the purpose yekuti uri pano pasi, itya Mwari, receive Jesus in your heart, onakirwa noupenyu to the fullest. Kunakirwa kwako unozoti haudembe. Pangande pade etha pada ndakadai ndakaruzira kandi wakudenga uchidongorera kandi uri kuyewo uchidongorera so uchiona kamuraramiro kedu so hauti dai ndiri ndakadai. Nakirwa noupenyu kubva pa$2 papo nakirwa zve$2 and build up like that.
So maybe before I go to the Couch Squad and just talk about the topic, maybe this last one before we go to these guys. So you spoke about how you can probably harness a number of millionaires, I don't know, maybe in and outside the country to come in and support football. And if there are football followers out there, they are listening keenly because this is how the football will be sustained. So it's something interesting. So how do you propose, let's say they have come to, how do you propose to do this?
For funding?
Yes.
Don't pay cash. I give you. But always understand this. There's a big difference between charity work and business. So when you guys approach millionaires, it depends with muguna soti chi pamarukuya murukuya zongoti budisa millionaire troe pass arisikuzikano medza choti ichaenda apa kana kuti zvecharity oi roe pass kana kuti mdara isamari apa tichadai vanhu vacharopafadzwa so upenyu hwevanhu huchachinjwa so my suggestion will be, let's start from going kuma primary schools, imparting to apana to dikidiki tichigruma talent rakadaro kuti mupana ane 10 years unoga kutoziva kuti uyu achapisa out 16 years uyu achapisa out patinozosvika kusecondary munhu anenge atova kumascholarship munhu akutoinvestirwa more paari patinozoti takuda 8 team yeZimbabwe everything is on point but hakuna millionaire anoramba investment.
Well, I've got one more for you, Prophet.
Okay.
You know, today we're discussing Zim Football as a charity or business. What advice can you give to maybe a footballer or a sportsman, you know, when it comes to actually following your passion, and making money whilst at it?
Well, I would say be special, increase your value by yourself before. You cannot look for a manager if you can't manage yourself. You have to know how to manage yourself before you try to look for anybody to manage you. Be special, be unique, be different, invest into yourself. Remember, if you're a footballer, I don't want a six-pack, I don't want a chest, I don't want a tricep. Build yourself body-wise. Learn how to talk. You know, when you see me sitting down talking about the iconoclastic tendencies of men that will ride us to come to a place of being super sport or speedy rent, because I just want you to be supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, is because I invested much time into myself. Because the greatest investment you can ever do in life is to invest into yourself. Unogona kudiwa ku Italy, unogona kudiwa ku America, ku UK, watazotora English. Shekatazo Buddha. Unogona ushaya, kutaza ogara, ukanyadzisa wana kakutiza. So invest into yourself, be special. Zvekuti even team yajikiwa, vanhu vanga vachiona bhora vanoti tukuda uyo ku America. Tukuda uyo ku team yako yarowa 7-0. Vanoona kuti yarowa zvayo, but this player is different. Be special, like me.
Passion Java, that's our guest artist for today here on The Couch. We will try and probably look at the Premier Soccer League, the clubs, and determine where they have what it takes to play their role, be able to pay their players, be beneficial to the community, be self-sustainable, and not risk collapsing while also making a profit or being beneficial to their sponsors.
Well, we spoke to Orientals to find out why they have been able to continue operating.
FC, we are very fortunate in that our sponsor, who happens to be Dr. IDB, is a soccer fanatic, if I can say. So he would go out of his way, sacrifice his time by sourcing finances and ensuring that soccer players, they get their salaries. In this case, we are talking of the senior team, which plays its trade in the Premiership. We also talk of the Division 1 team, which plays its trade in the Northern Region Soccer League, and also the women's soccer team. So in that case, I am greatly appreciating the efforts of our sponsor in as far as the salaries of the players are concerned.
So yeah, that's a final Mdumbuisa with Herenchals, and look, it's been a very difficult time with the coronavirus pandemic, and we went throughout the whole year with no football being played. And you look at the model from Zimbabwe, we've got a number of teams that survive on gate takings. Then we've got teams that are company owned or sponsored by companies, the mining teams, your FC Platinum, your Gezi Platinum, then you've got your Chicken Inn and Malawayo. Then you come here, you've got teams like Rangers who've got a solid financial backing. But for other teams, how then, do you go throughout the whole year and not knowing where the next dollar is going to come from?
By the grace of God, by promises, by making players understand, by also giving them the short end of the stick. That's how teams do. I think long in this journalism field, you hear that there are teams that where certain players are paid when others haven't been paid. So you look at this team and then you say Marco is the most vocal. I mean, do you think more no complain? I complain. Marco and complain. So no for Marco, but Marco come by the office. Marco gets paid. The boys go to training, guys say, let's stage a city because Marco has been paid. He says, no guys, let's chill. I spoke to him that sponsor is coming in 2 weeks' time. Then you buy some time. And that's what they do, a divide and rule tactic. And that's a tactic that they use, the individual own teams. For companies, the payroll is done, isn't it? Maybe they have their own Kazingizi way cook, I don't know. But look, they do pay. But for the individual, just imagine. I remember Samaneg and Moses Chung. having an argument at Glamis Arena because some nigga had gone to Farai Jerry's office without notice. Whether he was going to get paid, I don't know. But Moses Chungo was against that. That if you want to see the director, you might as well see him here. Because the inclination, in my mind, if I say could you've gone to see Jerry, I just feel you're going to get paid.
Mm-hmm. So, Mo, maybe you can shed a bit of some light here because you played the game.
Yeah.
There is what is called the player salary.
Mm-hmm.
Then there are some bonuses. Your winning bonus. I don't know if there is a draw bonus or some. Chinonya so batsira my players cheap because some teams were claiming no, we are paying salaries. Yet players are saying, okay, our salaries are just a paltry, amount. We survive with the winning bonuses and all that.
I think for me, my experience was the winning bonus was the highest earning. It was the biggest. You would want to play better because you would know. When we won the league with Gunners, our winning bonus was being increased with every win that we had. So you see, you would want to win because you know that's where you're going to get most of the money. Even when we were at Paimo, we got more money from winning. So you learn to be competitive. You just have to win because you know that's where most of the money is coming from. So when players are not playing like this, it really affects everything because the salary itself, even if when you are playing, it's still little. So when they're not playing and they're not winning, they're not getting anything.
Interesting. Well, now Black Rhinos Secretary General Edward Mutukwa sheds light on why they are an important club and how they have managed to keep afloat.
We take pride in representing the organization since we are the brand that represents the organization. Our patron, the Commander Zimbabwe National Army, has been very much passionate and in support of our club. He is the one who has kept us afloat even throughout the COVID-19 period by providing the funds to pay the players in terms of their salaries. And more so, even the preparations have been bankrolled by the Zimbabwe National Army. And we should not also forget the entire Army leadership, which has stood toe by toe to ensure that Black Rhinos Football Club remains competitive in the way it has been. As a flagship club of the Army, the leadership of the Army has been very much supportive, and they have made it clear that Black Rhinos Football Club will continue to remain afloat, and at the same time the players will get their salaries as per their contracts.
Yeah, so this is Edward Mutukwa. He's from Black Rhinos, also weighing in on what they're doing in terms of remunerating their players during this COVID time. So when we come back, we take a sample of the clubs that have been outstanding and what has been the secret. Stay with us here on ZTA.
It's five-a-side. If it carries on with this ferocity, it might be four-a-side and three-a-side. Oh my goodness!
Hussein fouled Johnson there because if he hadn't have done, Johnson was in almost immediately. Good spot from the referee as well.
Oh, he didn't see that one.
Welcome back. You're watching The Couch right here on ZTN, where we are discussing Zimbabwe local football. And we are saying, does it make business sense, or, it's just a charity and it's not making business sense? Then how can it reach another level? We have already spoken to a number of sample clubs, and now we speak to some outstanding clubs that we believe are operating an improved way.
Well, let's go over to Chido Chizondo from Mandava in Zhishavane to hear what they've done to try and make the three-time champions FC Platinum a business.
Our positioning as FC Platinum is football is a business. We had to rationalize that business in 2014 after Mimosa Mining Company returned to their core business of mining and could not sponsor football anymore. that positioning hasn't changed. In as difficult as things have been in 2020 and 2021, we have now had to look at other options in which we can commercialize the business of football. There are a lot of things that we are working on, a lot of strategic partnerships that we will soon be unveiling. But as far as we are concerned, that hasn't changed. Yes, it's been a very difficult time. Yes, the Zimbabwean market has not fully appreciated that football does come with huge commercial benefits. I mean, starting from as far as media, to things like broadcasting rights, to things like player acquisitions, player selling. There's a lot of untapped potential in all those areas. And it will take a lot of time for Zimbabwe to move in that direction. But as far as we are concerned as FC Platinum, that is the commercial direction that we want to take. From a rationalization perspective, having FC Platinum Holdings, which is the business side of it, has managed to cushion football since 2014. But we've also realized that it is not enough, and we need to begin to move towards more international trends to ensure that we commercially utilize the vehicle that we have with football.
So that's Chido Chizondo there from FC Platinum.
Yes, and we also spoke to Michael Ngobeni, a football intermediary based in South Africa, to find out how clubs can further improve their situation. We first asked how do footballers survive in Zimbabwe, and can the sport actually afford the players a decent living?
At the present moment, it's difficult for the clubs in Zimbabwe to afford to pay players decent living, because most clubs, they survive through sponsorship, and most clubs also, they are run by companies. So if those companies were locked, which means they were not operating, surely how are they going to manage to pay salaries, which though they have to pay salaries because of contractual obligations, but honestly speaking, it's tough, because most they have to take money from their own pocket, because football is not profitable in Africa. It's just a passion.
So that's Michael Ngobeni. He's an intermediary, football intermediary based in South Africa. So since he is based in South Africa, where probably in terms of the running of the game, in terms of the financial injections that are found in the game, it's a bit better than he is seeing how our players are going to South Africa, want to go and play in South Africa. So we asked Mike again to explain how local football leadership can take some lessons from our neighboring leagues in terms of sustainability.
I think what they need to cope is, for example, from PSL in South Africa, where PSL is sponsored by Vodacom. They put a lot of money. You've got DSTV, put a lot of money. So I think PSL themselves, they need to find sponsors, enough sponsors for the league. Although the clubs themselves, they need also to find sponsors, but the league needs to find their own sponsors, because there is big companies in Zimbabwe which they are operating in Zimbabwe. They need to be educated. They need to really to make a dialogue and to make sure that they do workshops of these things and educate those big players in those industries to say, guys, it's a win-win situation, because they'll be advertising themselves, so that at least they can afford. Because the owners, they don't have money, unless it's big minds who are making big profits. But if you really look at those minds, in terms of football point of view, they don't also make profit. But if you look at South Africa, what they do is, some clubs, there's MTNs, there's CLCs, and all these companies, they come. And also in Zimbabwe, the other thing I've noticed is betting companies. People are betting here. So, really, where's the betting companies to come and help? And most people who bet, they love football. So, they need to be approached, because they can't just come. They need to be approached, they need to come to the table and surely help to risk football in Zimbabwe.
So that's Michael Ngobeni, a football intermediary based in South Africa. He's got a number of Zimbabweans on his books. I think one guy who's got a big profile who was on his books was Kama Billiard before he was snatched by Vocal. So he's now being represented by Vocal. But
was he snatched by Vocal?
I'm not sure what happened.
Because Bana Vocal and Bana Kama. I mean, look, was he snatched?
Okay.
Yeah,
so we've had varied, responses from these guys. Ngobeni, Chido, Chizondo, and I like what Chido was talking about, because they say they've got a commercial vehicle, FC Platinum Holdings.
Yeah.
Yes, and they are trying to chart a way forward on how they are doing their business. And we look at FC Platinum and think from a Zimbabwean perspective, they are a model club when it comes, to remunerating players, taking care of players, and all that. But we would actually want to see more. What are they really doing better than all these other teams?
They have the money.
Where is the money coming from?
The holdings. They've got businesses. There's a verse that says, money answereth all things. When you have money, you can do anything, Mr. Msonzi. You can even buy a bus. You can even pay for your testing. You don't have to crowdfund like Ireland does when you have money. But you look at it now, we've got these big clubs. Right now, if you want to start a debate, let's just say to Dynamos fans, you're a big club, but you don't have a clubhouse. The insults that will come your way, they will tell you that clubhouses don't play football. That's the mentality. And you read the story in the H Metro today, their coach was given $3 to go home. When he drives a car that's 1.9 capacity, how many liters of fuel are there? That's 2. Where does he stay? Chitungwizi. And that's a huge club with sponsorship.
You've got a car, but it's Kirabas.
And all $3. Pay how much? And all $3. Shakurabas. What does that do to a guy like Passion who wants to get involved in football? He said it just now. Okay, I want to give you money. Show me where the money is going. I don't want to give you money today and I see Bernard Marriott changing his car. Does it work that way? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. The other day, Willard Zerewa was speaking to on some show. He said, it's okay, Zimbabwe, when you wanted to do the Grand Challenge, there was a suggestion that we get into football because it's huge. And we all agreed that if you fill National Sports Stadium, it will be huge. But they said, the money.
Where is it going?
It was wicked.
So I think this is a bit painful for you, what Marco is talking about, because you played the game, and probably you saw some executives driving cars, with money that was meant for guys like you. And one particular incident, probably that I want to point you to, there was a time when you moved to Shooting Stars.
Yeah,
it was a big money move. What really happened, and what was involved, the monies, where was the money coming from? And Chichaka, why am I pointing to this? Because there's a guy called Joe Sengeredo.
Yeah.
He went broke because I don't more.
Yeah.
Well, I'll start by talking about what I need to comment about what Chido Chizondo was saying. Chido Chizondo, what she didn't talk about was, despite putting all the structures in place, are they making a profit? No, they are not. But it's good to have structures in place. When things are better, it's easy for them to make profits. But coming to the move to Shooting Stars, yeah, there is a lot of controversy involved in that issue, and yeah, I ended up at Shooting Stars because what happened was our team was bought by Caps Holdings, and it became Caps FC. And as part of the agreement, it was like we were going to, everything was going to be like we were having at Baimo. But then what happened was we went for a match in Wange, and we started staying in lodges. At Baimo, we used to stay at in the five-star hotels. We started staying in lodges, and we were not agreeable to that. So what then happened was we were not happy. Myself and Chandida, we ended up booking the team into a hotel. Then we came back. We had a match against the Animals. Instead of staying at Holiday Inn, they put us at Harare Safari Lodge. We refused to sleep at Harare Safari Lodge, and as players, we agreed to go back and sleep at home and come for the match the following day. And we used my vehicle and Chandida's vehicle again to transport the other guys to their homes. Then I was away, only to be called that you've been chucked out of Caps. And then Sengredo called me and said, you know what, I hear you've been chucked out of Caps FC. Come to Shooting Stars. And Sengredo had the money. I still remember because it was a Sunday and he took me to Newlands for breakfast. He said, I don't talk to someone who is hungry. You know, the money exchanged hands. I can't talk about the figures, but it was good money. I cannot talk about it, but it was good money for a six-month contract.
How much was it? How much did you get married?
No. No, but that's how it happened. But Segredo used to have a lot of money then. Okay. And unfortunately, by the time he left soccer, he was so broke. We were now calling him Joe Mangwana because he would say, I'll give you your money, Mangwana. He would come and say, guys, Mangwana, I'll give you your money, Mangwana. So he was saying Joe Mangwana. But during his time, look, this is the guy who used to make sure that Mchumaya Limoyo stayed in a hotel every day of his life in Harare, and every weekend he would fly to see his family in Bluewayo.
Yeah, but
so
before we go out, I just wanted to pay tribute to guys who invested money in football and things just went south. Cabbage team. You know, if there was guys that you need to say, guys, thank you for doing this. Cabbage team. Eric Rosen and Lizzie Rosen. Sengeredo, this is Sengeredo guy. I mean, feeding these players. This guy was a blue-eyed boy of Cuthbert too. I'm more doing a Cuthbert joke by more. So I was saying, I want to post the show. I do want a Cuthbert joke by more. Because I don't mention the message when you.
I did a chi.
I
brought results. I brought results.
Yeah. All right, as we round up, my question is, you know, footballers naturally are people who have huge followings. Even here in Zimbabwe, we have footballers who have huge followings, but most of them, they remain poor. Why is that?
Look,
but they have the connections.
I just want to answer the thing. The biggest supported team in Zimbabwe,
Dynamo.
That claims to have 7 million. Do they have 7,000 points now? Do they have? This guy did this is passion. This following, does it translate into money? No, do you have the cash at the end of the day?
Yeah. So it's a hot topic that we are discussing here. I know we can talk about this until the cows come home, to use that old cliche. Yeah. But look, at the end of the day, football should be run as business. Players should be taken care of because these are the main actors when it comes to the game of football. And we want to see, you know, what this you know, movement that we have seen recently, you know, of our players going to Zambia, going to Swaziland, Eswatini, going to Sudan, going to Tanzania. You know, we want to see them playing here and strengthening our league and getting the money out of it at the end of the day.
It's really, really painful, you know, when you look at big clubs like Dynamos, like Marco was saying, they do not have a clubhouse, they do not have their own pitch, they don't have anything.
Just a name.
But you just cross the border, you see Orlando Pirates, Kaizer Chiefs, they have Naturena, they attract a lot of sponsorship. It's because of the structures they put in administratively. Dynamos fills stadiums wherever they play, home or away, friendly or what. But where is the money going? So in as much as we may say we do not have so much sponsorship coming through to football. Administratively, we are also not getting it right.
Yeah, let's get that right. Thank you very much for coming, guys. Makombore and Mo. Thank you. Always insightful when you guys, talk about stuff that's affecting our football here in Zimbabwe. And yeah, I think it's been a good day.
Yes.
Prophet Passion.
He was in the building. He just left a little while ago. But I mean, it was a great show. It was good to get to know certain things about him. Yes.
Yeah. So until we meet again next week, I think it's been good. It's been nice. My name is Howard Msonza.
And I'm Shamin Jasweka. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next week. Same time.
We are going to leave you watching this clip from Prophet Passion.
Miss me one more, so I gotta get more. Equal my break better than them crew. Hustling more as the big now, bro. Hustling more like never before. Me not tell a lie, me no wanna miss target. Me make sure, if me want it, me get it. Fearless, me never say to be less. Call me now when me want. Finally, one thing when me gotta get clean. I wanna hear me say fearless. Me never say to be less. Call me now when me want. Highest go. In a real life, me go aim for the greatest. One figure the best of the best. Highest go. In a real life, me go aim for the greatest. One figure the best of the best. See, some of them say, long time them stay ahead. I'm here to believe stuff. Then just go ahead, he's a boy.